I figured it out. For every like, I'll learn one sign of Kakashi's slash Zabuza's water dragon jutsu, okay? So the really long one that's really fast in the Land of Waves arc, I'll learn one sign for every like. How about that? And that'll carry on for every video, okay? There you go. I might even make this the intro. Let's do it. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Seth here with RawDawgShonen, bringing you another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter review, recap, whatever you want to call it. Chapter 23 dropped like 5 days ago. I'm very much behind on it, and that is totally my fault. I've been slacking, been pretty busy. I won't have too many excuses, but I, yeah, I'm late. I'm late to the chapter review, but I just read it today, and I will say, out of every chapter, to be late to, I'm pissed that this is the chapter. Okay, because this chapter is pretty hype, and something really cool happens in it. So let's get right into it. All right, first things first. Starting with the cover illustration, Jura. All right. I seen some discourse online that maybe it's like him mocking Sarada or something. I don't know, dude. All I know is that this cover sus. Okay, I don't I don't like that pose. I don't like that pose from Jura. It doesn't suit him very well, in my opinion. But anywho, let's continue. Also, might I add, the headband. It's not. It just ain't it today. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know. I can't style it right. You know what I mean? But anywho, so we start off this chapter with where obviously where last chapter left off, which is Konohamaru is retreating after Boruto told him to do so, and right now he is linking back up with Mitsuki. So Mitsuki and Konohamaru have a brief conversation. Um, Pretty much what gets said is Mitsuki's like, we got to go help Like, okay. So Boruto saves Konohamaru. Konohamaru tells Mitsuki that. Mitsuki then is like, okay, then let's go help Boruto beat Jigen and Jura. Sorry, not Jigen. My bad, Jura. To which Konohamaru was like, no, we have to go somewhere. This is where everybody's going. Everybody's retreating. I had to do a bunch of googling earlier to refresh myself on these names. So let me explain real quick. Arya took Ryu Stormbulb, okay? And they're heading towards the tree, which is holding Shinky. All right? Are you keeping up? I know I wasn't. I had to Google everybody. I'm not going to explain all of it right now, but if you're confused, Google it yourself. Sorry. And Konohamaru's like, I feel bad for Yodo, but she died for a good cause, pretty much. And she was like, and Konohamaru was like, and she'd be happy that we got the thorn bulb here. So Mitsuki's like, can we go save Boruto? Can we go help Boruto against Jura? And Konohamaru's like, no. Boruto told me not to. Boruto told me to go to some rendezvous point. And Mitsuki's like, all right, let's go do that then. And Konohamaru brings up a good point. He says, our mission was to secure thorn bulbs, and Boruto was well aware of that. So Boruto knows he's going into this fight without help, pretty much. He knows what he's getting into. And yeah, Konohamaru is just following Boruto's order, which is good, I really like to see that, because it's showing that the omnipotence or the omnipotence, whatever, is kind of he's kind of breaking through it. And I don't know about breaking through it, but you know what I'm trying to say. He's kind of breaking through it, and this is good. This is what we want to see. We want to see these people start to trust in Boruto again and believe in him. You know what I mean? And Konohamaru says, I think Boruto has a plan. Let's just follow it because he saved me. You know what I mean? Let's just listen to what he's got to say. Let's do as he says. To which we pick back up with the fight between these two, between Boruto and Jura. And I'll be honest, I'm not the best at like comprehending action in manga, but from what I can comprehend, this has been really sick so far. I really like it. So last chapter, Bort got stabbed by a tree. Also, I'm gonna call him Bort. You know, shout out TSO Sage. It just rolls off the tongue nicely. Bort got stabbed by a tree in the last chapter. You know, trying to be able to use the Hiko on him, and Boruto is saying, this shit hurts like a motherfucker, cub, but it didn't hit a vital spot, but it is a little worse than I thought. So he's already at like a disadvantage off rip. And they're fighting. Boruto is doing a good job evading. Jura is trying to land Biju bombs, but they're very telegraphed. You can Bort can see them coming from a mile away. So Jura straight up asks Boruto, he's like, I can tell this isn't working. Would long distance sniping or close range blasting, what would be more effective? And they're fighting, okay? They're fighting. Boruto is evading Biju bombs. He's getting blasted. He throws a kunai. He flying Raijins behind him. Gets Sasuke's sword knocked out of his hand. I don't know if I'm reading this right, but flying Raijins again to the sword, grabs the sword, cuts his foot off. Cuts Jura's foot off. And what is really cool. And also, might I add, what the fuck is that footwear? What is that? What is his foot in general? That's disgusting and not drip. He has a thumb on his foot, guys. He has a thumb on his foot. What? But after cutting Jura's foot off, Jura actually gives Boruto some props. He says, "Oh, impressive." And the action continues. They're scrapping it out here. Okay, so Jura catches Bort's hand. Boruto says to himself, I'm outmatched strength-wise. Which is when, okay, Boruto releases Kakashi's Purple Lightning, which is awesome. That's awesome because, a little callback here, a little knowledge. If you think about it, the last time Bort, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last time Bort used Purple Lightning was when he had his scientific ninja tools do it for him, which is really cool because, it's kind of come full circle now. Like, he's not relying on that stuff. Like, he's got it. He's got it under control. Well, maybe not under control, but he's got a bag, okay? And he don't need no fucking technology to do it for him. So, yeah, he does Purple Lightning. Jura then has to let go, to which Jura says, all right, valid. I see you, my boy, but you're getting pretty slow and sluggish, so perhaps it would be faster to just beat your ass with these hands rather than, trying sniping you with my Biju bomb, which is probably valid because that has not been it so far. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so Konohamaru and Mitsuki with an unconscious Sarada get to the rendezvous point, and Konohamaru's like, all right, we made it. And then Mitsuki's like, but why are we here? And Konohamaru's like, I don't fucking know. But this is where he said to be, so we're here. Going back to the fight between Bort and Jura. Bort gets hit with a pretty hard punch, with a pretty hard gut punch, which sends him flying down to the ground. Jura loads up a Biju bomb. It explodes on the ground, but Boruto's not there. He's up in the sky now. So I don't know if that's just his speed or flying Raijin, but still, he wasn't there for it, so it didn't connect. But then Jura appears behind Bort after Bort dodged it, and they have a little clash, and Jura's middle finger, I think it is like a it's like a one of those like claw mark things, but he's like fighting Sasuke's sword. Like he they're clanking with it, and it actually it puts a chip in Sasuke's sword, which is bad, man. I don't want to see that sword get broken, and I'm sure Bort doesn't either. But after chipping Sasuke's sword, Jura sends Boruto flying back to the ground again, and this time it's looking a little worse. You know what I mean? I don't know if we're not sure he's gonna be able to get out of this one this time. To which Ida is watching. I still don't know how to say her name. Ida. I think it's Ida. She's watching, and she's like, I can't watch. I love Boruto. And she says, at this rate, Boruto's gonna die. I can't watch this. And then it shows Kashin Koji tweaking. He's doing this. And Ida's like, yo, Koji, are you watching this? How you feeling about this? You watching? You checking this out? To which Kashin Koji says, shut the fudge up. I'm getting an update here. Eyes roll to the back of his head and shit. So he's getting another film reel vision with all the film reels and stuff. And it shows a good bit. Like it shows Himawari doing something, and like let's see, it shows a lot, okay? It shows, but the main thing I think you're supposed to be focused on here is the fact that Jura is doing this. He's covering his eye. And obviously Ida's like, what's that? What are you getting? What's happening here? All right, and then we resume back to their fight, where Jura is standing over top of an unconscious Boruto, and Boruto is still holding on to Sasuke's sword, and Jura's like kind of poking fun at him, almost like, wow, very Otsutsuki of you to be this tough, and respect for still holding on to your master's sword. That's crazy of you. And he even says, out of respect, I'll make this fast. I'll wipe you out cleanly with one single blow. To which, boom! Okay, now, this is really cool. And yeah, it's just really fucking cool. There's a rod through Jura's eye, okay? And it's not just any rod. I believe it is Ishiki's. I believe it is Ishiki's chakra rod. So the rod that steals chakra. I think. Now, where did this rod come from? None other than Kawaki, okay? Kawaki is here, and he just saved Boruto's life. Awesome. As I was reading it, I actually audibly yelled out loud. I said, "Oh!" To which you got Kawaki posing cool with the rod. He's standing on his shoulders. He's got the rod through his eyeball, and he says, "This ain't enough to kill you. You really are a monster." So Koji and Ida are both tweaking out. Fucking Ida's like, "Oh my god, Kawaki!" And Koji's like, "Yo, that's the first update I've had in a week." Bro, come on, really? Really? Is this okay? So what this leads me to believe is, I'm not sure how much you can really trust this guy's, I think he calls it like omniscience or something weird like that. But yeah, omniscience vision. It leads me to believe that you can't really trust him. So I don't know. Say what you want about it. Whatever. I'm gonna go with the flow here. To which Koji's like, Boruto must have said something to him, which I believe a few chapters ago we got. So yeah, Koji's very impressed with his pupil right now. He's like, wow, very cunning, Boruto, very good job. I didn't see this outcome happening. Yada yada yada. We then cut to Konohamaru and Mitsuki with an unconscious Sarada, and Delta pulls up. She's like, hey, you guys are still all alive. That's good, because Delta is a good girl now. So back to the fight. I know I'm going. So back to here. So back to the fight. Kawaki, I believe what I'm seeing here is him break the blade or break the chakra rod off and start throwing a bunch of the pieces into Jura. He's fucking him up. He's beating him. He breaks all the rods out of him. He fires a Biju bomb at the unconscious Boruto. And I'm kind of confused what's happening here. I'm going to take a look at it. I guess it just hit him, but I don't. I don't know if it hit Boruto or not, but Boruto's fine regardless. I don't know if Kawaki came in, saved the day, maybe moved him or something. But the next page, it's showing them having a little bit of brotherly banter, which I kind of find crazy considering Kawaki literally ruined his entire life. But I digress. Sometimes that's the thing people don't understand about these brotherhoods. You know what I mean? It don't really matter at the end of the day. That's still my brother. So Kawaki's like, hey, you fucking dummy, wake up. And Boruto's like, you're the dummy, bro. You're late, dude. But Kawaki, after Jura says, oh my goodness, Kawaki done got a lot more powerful, which is due to Boruto telling him to get rid of his limiter. Kawaki then says, if you run amok, I'm going to kill you. So behave yourself. So, kind of crazy for him to talk like that considering their last encounter, if I'm not mistaken. But, still, it's a thing. And who knows now where he's at power-wise. But Boruto's like, man, don't fucking worry about me. Go do your own thing. We're good over here. And the chapter ends with Kawaki activating his karma marking and saying, let's run it. Which is pretty cool and a very hype end to the chapter, in my opinion. This was a really good chapter, okay? Despite the fact that I'm not the best with really understanding what's happening in the action. Like, sometimes it's hard for me to tell what's being landed and whatnot. I still got the premise of this chapter very well. Excuse me. I still got the premise of this chapter very well, and I found it very entertaining. I found it very good. Especially with Kawaki's pull up. That was really cool, and it makes me like Kawaki despite the fact that he ruined the main character's life. But yeah. Oh, forgot to mention. It also shows Boruto covering like his karma marking, I believe. So, next chapter, do we see Boroshiki return? Do we see Momoshiki return in the form of Boruto? I don't know, because he's been dormant for the past 3 years during Boruto's time skip. So, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I was wrong about this chapter. I thought Boruto was gonna try and get away, get out of there, get away somehow, but nah, Kawaki pulled up, saved the day pretty much. And yeah, they're 2v1ing him and winning right now, I'm pretty sure. And now he just activated his karma marking. Boruto's probably going to do the same or something. So, yeah, I think they might take care of this guy right now. But the aftermath is what I'm concerned with because, Momoshiki coming back after not being after not being there and being dormant for so long is kind of concerning, obviously. So yeah. So anywho, really good chapter. I liked it. Sorry I'm late. Like, comment, subscribe. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Like I'm missing, like I had some mental notes taken that I didn't talk about. I don't know. I'm late anyway, so I gotta get this out here to y'all. Next chapter is gonna be sick though. I can tell. I can sense it right now. I'm having Kashin Koji visions of the future. Next chapter is gonna be really cool. I know it. Yeah. I don't know. 10 likes and I'll learn 10 likes and I'll learn a hand sign. I'll fucking okay. Thank you. Love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Boruto.